Then she taught me about independence and becoming financially responsible and ethical. She introduced me to Iran philosophy. She tried to help me learn skill like massage or bartending. I wasn't good at that. I really didn't like alcohol at the time. And I wasn't a good listener. And that's what bartenders do. So when I was low on cash during the early years, she would buy a massage for me so I could buy my next dinner. I followed CJ everywhere. To Great Neck, to find out bagels could be served with whitefish and lox and onions and tomatoes, not just cream cheese. And when Christmas could be a pleasure, where everyone would wait for the other one to open the present, and they would like generously acknowledge the gift giving. They would say, "That was stellar." You know, I learned this vocabulary like that you could say thank you. That was a stellar gift. It was a great family. And she came from powerful, generous, supportive stock. I learned from her mother this most unique laugh, which we coined the pearl. And from her father came lessons on business, such as Catherine wanted to open a lemonade stand, and Mike loaned her the money for the lemons and the sugar and the cups. But of course, the water was for free, and I don't know what the interest rate was. It was always a supportive family that would love each other no matter what and encourage each other to excel. I followed CJ to California to a philosophy conference where I met Guy and Richard. And thanks to Richard, we went to Disneyland, not Tijuana. I followed her to Canada to Guy's funeral. But then I had to move my career to New York City, and she married Richard. And at her wedding, I get to meet her big sister, Judith, and her friends, Terry and Carol and Jerry. I followed her to Milestone, and there I was introduced to her new little man, Alex, who was stark as a jaybird most of the time. And then came along her loving daughter, Kira, and then the curious Jake, all who she felt constant pride and love, wanting and showing them how to be free-thinking, responsible, happy, creative, and loved, wanting them to make good choices. I followed her for brief moments to North Carolina, where I met her extended family, Joe, Bill, Anthony, Gina, Billy, plus a lot of dogs, and Alice. Once you're in CJ's life, you're always in CJ's life. Through her love and desire that you feel loved and accepted. If I did not have CJ in my life, I may have been a suppressed victim. Instead, because of her constant love and belief in who I am and what I could be, I am able to take responsibility for myself and my words, and I can change my thoughts and nurture my many parts and live a lot more happily. I miss her physically, and I am blessed to have her in my heart. And I can see her spinning the butterfly fairy, and I look forward to spending the rest of my life finding different ways to communicate with her.
Since I'm here, yeah. I'm Joanne. I'm Catherine's person. Chief cook, bottle washer, pill divider, chart maker on the computer with much help. I thought over the last 2 weeks so many times to try to write something down. And there just aren't enough words for my love for her, my admiration for her, her strength, her courage, her acceptance. And every time I started to write, I bawled like a baby because I have to live without her now. And it was a big, long pity party. I've painted everything in my house that won't stand still. I first met Catherine when she was living in Bedford, and as Jake told you, I took care of Alex and Kira. And I believe after conversations with Gail Heim, who's Lynn's dear, dear friend who can't be here, and the chaplain who came to visit Catherine from hospice, he called our relationship divine providence, and Gail called it beshert. When I met Catherine, she needed me to take care of her babies. And I needed her friendship and to open my eyes to a very different way of thinking and being. When we moved here, she gave us this amazing family and all of you that I just love so much. When we moved out of Catherine's home, and she called me one day and she said, God, I miss having somebody take care of me. And that started the becoming chief cook, bottle washer, banana bread maker, green juice maker. And I saw Catherine through doctor's appointments and MRIs and changes in medication. And through it all, she had the most amazing sense of humor and always was just thinking of everyone else. After surgery on April 1st, when she decided that there would be no more treatment, we were driving home and she said, oh, you're gonna be out of a job. What are you gonna do with yourself? And I said, I have no idea. But for right now, you need me, I need you. Over the next several weeks, a lot of times things went astray, the dog hair rolled across the floor, and I spent endless hours curled up on Catherine's bed with her and talking about the afterlife, which was a whole new concept for her. And after surgery, she was not able to read. And she said, Joe, you have to do research. I need facts, I need more information. And I said, you have the information. And now you just have to take it into your heart, and that's what they call faith. And that's what she did. And she looked for ways that she would connect with people when she was gone. And she believed very strongly. Proof of heaven, for anybody who's interested, was the source for her. I'm wearing one of 3 bracelets. Kira has the other 2. And mine says, just notice. And that was a tremendous talent of Catherine's, that she could look at you and just notice. Notice if you were happy, notice if you were sad. She noticed everything about everybody. I want to tell you kids that you were amazing to her. And those last couple of weeks were such a gift. And you all stepped up in ways and made her so proud and feel so loved. And everybody taking turns to hold her hand and to snuggle with her and give her comfort was a gift. As hard as it was to be going through it, it was a gift to see your love for your mom. And I love you guys so much.
Love you too.
Again, there just really aren't all the appropriate words, and I wasn't gonna say too much. But Catherine did tell me, as Lynn said, you better not all show up in black, weeping and bawling. You better wear something colorful and tell a funny story. So I'm gonna leave you with a funny story. Catherine came to a jewelry party at a friend's house one night. And there was a game that you had to look for something in your purse that started with the letter A, the letter B, the letter C, and you got points each time. And we got to the letter G. And everyone's saying, I bet I have some gum in my purse. And Catherine goes, but I have a gun in my purse. Which was slightly disturbing to some people, but anyone who knew her and loved her knows that she was packing wherever she went. There was a gun in the purse, there was a knife in the belt, and no one was gonna mess with Catherine. So, for the gifts, for the love, for the kicks in the butt that I got to stand up for myself and speak stronger and use her voice, and for the gift of this beautiful family and how wonderful you all have been to us since we have been here. I thank Catherine and I thank all of you. And I love you guys. And stay close. You know where the food is.
I think Carrie's
Everyone, this is Terry, a friend from high school.
So I didn't, plan to, well, I wanted to speak, but it was kind of tough to write stuff down. I know Catherine since high school, Kathy. And I spent a lot of time at the Jeffrey House. And for me, that was family time. Holidays, watching everybody open up presents, paper flying everywhere, and laughter, always laughter. And that was the best part of my friendship. Yeah, well, you hurl and my nose twitches. And once one of us started, that was the end of it. And I remember being invited to Milestone. She had a wedding there, right? And that was the first and only time I was ever a bridesmaid. And I had found some pictures. I was really going through lots of pictures, and I couldn't find many. And I found a few pictures of a fishing trip that we had taken with Steve and Judith and Mike, and that was a lot of fun, and tiring. I remember we all just passed out. What?
We got up at like 4 or something.
Yeah, it's probably the last time I ever got up at that hour. What everybody said is how I feel. There are few people in my life that I can say have inspired me. And although I haven't really been very connected with Catherine through the years, physically, I believe that she's always been in here, and I've always been in her heart. She used to say that I was like other than Roger, the only friend that she had kept from high school, and that was always an honor for me. So, when my dad passed, my daughter at the last minute decided to speak, and she said that, Zeta's gonna be in the flowers that I smell and see, and in the nature that I walk through and everywhere, and I really believe that that's where Catherine's gonna be. She's gonna be everywhere, and for that I'm grateful. I will miss her though. Thank you.
always said she wanted to fly. We would even pull over sometimes when we were driving to look at an eagle. I think that's, if she took a form, it would be in the form of a bird. I think a little earlier there was a bird looking through the window. But whenever you see something high in the sky, you think of her. And thank you, everyone. There's going to be some food served, and hopefully a lot of laughter. We'll wipe those tears off now. Thank you.